Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, well, I made it. This is our weekly scheduled live video from northern Idaho in my wall tent. For those of you that are new to Trayer Wilderness, my name is Tammy Trayer, and you can find us at trayerwilderness.com. And my family and I have been living off the grid for a decade. A decade ago, we arrived on raw wilderness land and set up a canvas wall tent that we called home for 8.5 months while we transformed the land and built our off-grid homestead. We are now on another piece of land, living in a tent and preparing to do the same thing. We are sharing our journey on a daily basis on our YouTube channel as well. Lay down, missus. I've got big dogs in here with me, and she's spinning in circles. There we go. I just didn't want the tripod to go. So if you haven't been joining us, we invite you and encourage you to join us on our daily walk as we progress to build not our cabin, but our guest cabin. We arrived late on this land, later than we would have liked to, and have decided and made an executive decision that rather than building our actual tiny cabin, that would require a lot more lumber, that we are building our even tinier guest cabins this season. So we've been harvesting logs and milling logs, and right now we have about 6 more feet needed for the upper floor and about another 20 feet needed for the lower floor. So we're looking at about 30 more 8-foot logs. So right now I'm sitting in our tent and it is raining. We are expecting record lows for Idaho the next couple days, 19, 24, and on Saturday it's supposed to be 0. So we've only got a thin layer of canvas surrounding us right now, but I just did a tour of our camp. Last night we plasticed off everything. The mountain man made a wood stove out of a water heater, and we are much warmer, and we'll be buttoning things up even further this afternoon. We ran out of plastic, so we're going to get some more black plastic and really button this up. The plastic makes such a huge difference and will help us hold in the heat, and we need to secure underneath the containers that surround us right now so that we can block off some of that heat as well. Good morning, Aaliyah. Blessings to you as well, and thank you for your prayers, and prayers right back at you. Praying for your allergies and requested prayers for you on my earlier video this morning. God answers prayers, and that's what we're going to talk some about today. Since last Wednesday, we had a very unusual, very unexpected event take place. We have my husband's truck, which is an 01, and it's got almost 400,000 miles on it. It's been through a lot. It's still got life in it, but it's not our main vehicle. And we were blessed to be able to purchase a new to us vehicle back in the end of August, beginning of September. And it was a great blessing to have a nicer vehicle and something that was reliable. And it was in the driveway. Right behind it was a 4-wheeler, not 20 feet away. My husband's truck was not 20 feet away. There's an outhouse there, another trailer, 2 trailers right there within 5 feet of it. And my husband had gotten in Saturday evening to back it up just 15 feet to get it out of the way so he could pull the truck through. And when he got in and hit the gas, it was on a little bit of a grade, so when he hit the gas, he just gave it a little bit more gas, and the accelerator stuck. And he had the door open when he did it, and the door got ripped out of his hands, put a hole in my son's trailer in 2 different places. But through my husband's maneuvering, which was quite amazing because everything was right there, how he missed stuff and how he didn't lose his arm, and the fact that the vehicle literally landed on a log because the accelerator was stuck full bore and it launched itself on a log, a stump that we had securing plastic over top of insulation. And when that happened, it was still, the tires were still spinning, it was still revving hard, and he just slammed it into park and shut it off. But it was 2 feet, not even 2 feet away from the windows we're using for the house. And had it not launched on the log, there were further windows behind it propped up against all of our plywood. It could have just been disastrous. And a lot of people would look at that and just be devastated. I mean, that was my office. That was my charging station for all of my electronic equipment. I am a programmer and web designer by trade. I'm also a writer, radio host, a multitude of things that all involve the internet. And I could be saddened, but we've learned long ago already to just roll with what happens and to look at things in a very different way than the average person sees them. I look at it in this way. My husband is alive. He still has his arm. And our material things are no big deal, because this is actually what I texted him from. I was down in a hunting blind, and with our internet here and our outdoor extender, I had service in the blind. I also had 2 dogs with me, which was really funny. For those of you that hunt, I was hunting elk and deer in a blind with my rifle and 2 dogs curled up at my feet. It was hysterical, but we can't lock them in a tent. They don't stay in a tent. My big Rhodesian is my partner in crime, but she's also my protector. And oh boy, here they go. Somebody's here. But anyway, I texted him and I said, whatever that just was, because I heard the crash, but I figured he just backed into something accidentally. And I'm like, whatever it is, it's material stuff. It's not a big deal. Well, then he came to get me. So, it is just that. It's material things. The concern we had is that we had finally invested in something and we don't want to ever drive that vehicle again. Don't want to have it repaired and then sell it to somebody else, knowing that that was a possibility. That was just terrible. And I ethically could not do that. So the beautiful thing is that they are probably going to just consider it a total loss because of its age. It's an 04. And so that's what they're saying right now, and that would be an absolute blessing. And then we just have to pray that God provides the right amount of money that we put out for it, and also that we can purchase something else. And they provide a rental car, and that's great and all, but we got to get our house built, and it's he and I right now. Granted, we were blessed yesterday. This is another blessing. For those of you that have been following us for a long time and have yourself met Chad, Chad Vandal, that joins us on here. He and his son joined us up here yesterday, a surprise visit. I knew he was coming, but it was a surprise for the mountain man. So he arrived yesterday and is providing extra hands. They were outside doing some firewood right now. But I'm sure they're going to be coming in soon. So it could get really loud in here really fast because it's dumping, and I don't want them out there being soaked. So I hope they do come in. But learning to roll with things, learning to not be devastated when things don't go our way, learning to understand that that was an absolute blessing. I had just come back from town. I could have put that in reverse in town at the little mercantile, and there could have been kids behind me, and I could have just taken them out. It would have been terrible. That could have stuck on my way home. It could have stuck the next time I took it out for a ride. And I often have the dog with me, it could have just been ugly. And I know that when stuff like that happens, I've already been driving a vehicle that lost its brakes while we were doing firewood coming down the mountain. And sometimes you have to run vehicles into a mountainside to stop them. I didn't have to do that then. But, knowing how to handle those situations is good, but not having to experience them is even better. And I just see that as an absolute blessing that Glenn saved my life by being the one that did back it up, and our dogs, anything. It could have been so different. So learning to be thankful in those situations and seeing the other side of it and not just being stuck in the negativity and the negative side of things is really, really important. And I just want to encourage that in people, because so often when things happen, people just instantly hit this negative mode of devastation. And when we're in that spot, the enemy has full reign. We give him full reign because of our mentality and our mindset. So we have to learn to basically retrain our brains. I don't know what's going on out there, but like I said, it's liable to get really loud in here really fast. But are you getting wet?
Yeah, jumping on some rocks.
Yeah. Have a seat. I'm actually live on the internet right now, but you can sit in here. Do you need something to drink?
Yeah.
There's a bottle of water right here. You can grab a bottle of water, and when I'm off, we'll heat up some hot chocolate or some tea, okay? Can you get him carefully? Did somebody come?
Yeah, you know the guy in the black truck?
In a black truck?
Yeah.
Is it a big black truck?
Yeah,
Okay.
big one.
Okay.
Without a lift on it.
Without a lift on it?
No lift.
Oh, no lift. Okay, then it's probably Pat, which is another praise, guys. I told you we've been praying for Pat Kenny, and he is actually out here hunting. So it is such an absolute awesome blessing that he is able to be here, and so excited about that. Let me see here. Okay, I don't know. YouTube has been doing some upgrades. So if I don't know how this messaging is working. Yesterday it wasn't working very well. So, and hopefully you can hear me all okay. But what I'm gonna do here, because I don't know what's gonna happen here and if this is gonna get really loud and noisy in here really fast, but I want to read a couple things to you today in regard to what I'm talking about. Let me see here. I think this is the one I want to read first.
Can I get on camera?
Did you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
That's Christian. Say hi to Christian. Christian is joining and helping us up here, and he's part of the adventure, right? You're part of the ship, part of the crew too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's enjoying the kittens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whoop, did I knock your fishing rod over? Okay, so I'm going to read 3 things to you, and then I'm going to jump off of here because it's dumping buckets, and I'm also waiting for a phone call to get Pearl out of here. So this one is from John 11:41. It says, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. Before raising Lazarus from the dead, Jesus prayed, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. When you know your prayer is in harmony with God's will, you can wrap it up with the same words. Father, I thank you that you have heard me. Understand this. After you've prayed, the devil wants you to go away and wonder whether or not God actually heard you, or if he's willing to grant your request. How common is that? How often is that? How often does that happen to you? But when you know God has heard your prayer, you have confidence. You think, act, and speak differently. Anxiety is replaced with peace. Here are a few scriptures for you to meditate on. When you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. And that's so true, because that means that our hearts are not in the right place, that we are praying for something that we don't trust will come our way. And we need to trust that. The other thing is, if anyone says to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea. It's going to get crazy here, guys. Go throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Today, begin to thank God that he has heard your prayer and that he will answer it in the ways that's best for you. Is Pat here?
He just left.
Are they staying?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go hunting right now.
Okay. Did he bring up the little mini chainsaw?
No.
Oh, you have.
Plums and stuff.
What's that?
Plums and stuff.
Oh, yeah, he brought plums and nectarines.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm live, but I won't be on long. Okay, so with that being said, we have to have faith and trust in our prayers and know in our hearts that God is going to answer our prayers, and know also that when things happen, even when it's bad stuff that happens, it's not God that created that bad thing. He's there with us. He will walk through that situation with us. And sometimes people will say, well, he allowed it to happen. He may have, but through that situation, we are going to grow in such a big way. I promise you. He walks us and allows us to walk through things to enable us to be built up to who we need to become, that we can grow and that we can be delivered from situations. You have to lean further. Watch my coffee.
Hi.
So let me read another one to you quick here. Jesus made the disciples get into the boat. Matthew 14:22. When Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, did he know there was a storm brewing? Yes. So why did he send them into the middle of it? To learn, to grow, and to stretch their faith. I'll tell you what, guys, when your faith is stretched, and ours has been stretched a multitude of times and in a multitude of different ways, it's an amazing thing when you learn to step out in faith and fully trust him. It is such a peace and comfort in life and joy to be able to do that. I've shared it many times that through my illness, I no longer have fear and worry. I just roll. And it is such an unbelievable feeling because I used to be a worrier. So it's really awesome. Just be careful in his face. He's a good, mild dog, but he may get a little nervous. Okay, so the Bible tells us shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, but Jesus immediately said to them, take courage, it is I, don't be afraid. There are three important lessons here. One, serving the Lord doesn't exempt our lives from storms, but it protects you when you do have trouble. But take heart, I've overcome the world. That is John 16:33. Nope, I haven't seen the cats. 2, what you perceive as another problem heading your way, maybe the Lord, you have to be nice to him, Christian. I would just let him go. Because, hey, there's doggy dynamics going on here. Can you get him out of here? Thank you. Okay. Welcome to my chaos. Okay, let me try this again. 2, what you perceive as another problem heading your way may be the Lord coming your way. The disciples thought Jesus was a ghost, when in reality, he was their deliverer. So, as I said, through the chaos, sometimes there's so many blessings in it if we're willing to really just pause and think about the whole situation. That car, I could be devastated, but again, knowing that that could have been so much worse. You got to look at everything. All right, so 3, Jesus may not show up when you want him to, but he will always show up on time. His timing is amazing. The disciples have been in the storm for hours before Jesus appeared, and when he appeared, he said, take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid. Notice that before Jesus dealt with what was troubling them on the outside, he calmed them down on the inside. That's how he works. First, he changes us, then he changes our circumstances. As a result, we grow in faith and end up better equipped to handle the next storm that blows into our lives. We live in the devil's territory. We live in a broken world. We are all sinners. We all have flesh. So we're going to walk out and walk through and deal with unfortunate circumstances and heartache and hard times. But when you learn to look at them as a learning tool and as a growing tool and as a stepping stone often, because in order to find success, you have to have failure. You have to, it's just part of it. So, in our circumstance even, with us wanting to build our cabin and we're hitting this weather, we could be devastated too. We could bail. We could forget about it. That's the enemy just trying to stop us. And you know what? All this stuff makes you stronger. I don't want to stop. I'm praising God that my muscles are strong enough for me to be able to do this. I couldn't have done this a year ago. I couldn't have been out there living next to him a year ago. So I am just so excited, and we're just going to keep pushing forward because you know what? That's what we do. We move faithfully forward. That is our motto, and that is what we're going to continue to do. That may mean that you need to pause sometimes, you know, in weather, in situations, but it doesn't mean that you're stagnant. It doesn't mean that you're stuck in this place. That means that you are pausing. Sometimes we need to pause and pray to make determinations as to what the next step is. That's the only way we roll. We don't just run ahead. We ask God for direction. So I'm hoping that this is in some way inspiring to people, because I know everybody is going through hard and troubling times. There's a lot of struggles going on, a lot of chaos, a lot of tough stuff going on in our world today. Plus we've got the COVID and people are sick. So I just want to be a light. I want to be an encouragement to others. Whoops, sorry. I don't know. Aaliyah says, thanks for the prayers. I have a terrible headache and the allergy flare up. Totally can appreciate that. Totally understand. I've been there. As I said the other day, I had allergies when I was young, and actually when I gave birth to my son, my allergies completely disappeared, which was absolutely amazing because something chemically changed in my body, and I'm perfectly good with that. Try peppermint oil on your temples and lavender on your neck. That will help with the headache. I'm actually heading to do that next too, because I've had a headache. I think my neck is just really tight. But that is always a great help. And nettle tea, and I got to think of the other thing. I'll message you later because I can never think of it off the top of my head. But nettle is really good for allergies. So you can do nettle tea, nettle supplements. It's Nettle. It's good stuff. Oh, it just came through my mind and went right back out. I can't think of the other herb. But I am going to jump off of here today because it's a little crazy here, but I will flip this around and show you. Oop, maybe not. There we go. So we got the guys hanging out by the wood stove. There is Chad from vandalservices.com, and Christian, you're going to say goodbye. Christian got to pop in earlier. And the mountain man's got all the hounds by the bloodhounds, mind you, next to the wood stove. So I'm going to say a prayer quick for you all, and then you guys can get back to your day. Today was short and sweet, and hopefully it was inspiring. And I will plan to get back on here next Wednesday, 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, if all goes well, but it's supposed to be really beautiful and sunny, so it might be the later afternoon. We will see, because we need to mill and get our house built. But join us daily also for our updates on our progress and what we've got going on here. Aaliyah says, okay, good, I've got nettle. Yeah, nettle helps a lot. Nettle is an awesome herb. It helps with a lot of things. But just stay tuned. We've got a lot going on, and we want to share this process with you. There's a lot to learn through this process. Somebody asked me, I think it was Steve was his name on my share earlier today, just on our update. He asked if this was hunting camp. And this could be a very nice, glorified hunting camp. It definitely could. And there's a lot to learn on our setup, because having things organized and accessible and not overthinking things, we are really simple and keep it simplistic. So just, I'm hoping there's a lot of takeaways. So, is somebody coming again? This is the hot zone today. So anyway, I'm going to say a quick prayer for you all. Papa, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for blessing us with Chad and Christian. I just poked you in the eye. With Chad and Christian's visit, I thank you that you are providing in all the different ways that you are. Thank you that we are able to have this wood stove and be under tighter hatch here with the plastic. Just guide us and direct us and help us. And be with Aaliyah with her allergies and her headache. Just give her release of those things and heal her. Be with Mary, Opal's mom Mary, that has COVID. Be with Terry Perry and with June with her MS, and just help them and love on them, give them peace and comfort and healing. Be with Pat Kenny, just keep him warm and dry while he's out here. Allow him to get something, fill his tags while he's here, and just bless him with great peace and comfort while he's here. And when Chad and Christian head home, just give them travel mercies. Be with them. Be with Tammy and her family. Be with Kelly. Help Kelly to just find rest and peace. And be with Diana with her job and just help her. Be with Shelly. Give her peace and comfort. And be with Deb with her job. And just thank you for your hand of safety and love and mercy and grace on my family. Be with Austin. Help him to continue to progress in such an amazing way at Moody Aviation. And also help him that his biggerthanautism.com will just flourish for him. And also guide and direct me and help me to get all our classes in place and to really be effective with our Bible study and book club. And Papa, I just thank you for all that you're going to do, all your constant blessings, and just your love, mercy, and grace, and the abundance you're going to provide for us all, and your just hand of love around all of us. Keep everyone safe, and thank you for all you're going to do. We ask this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, guys, as you can tell, it's crazy here, and love you all. Wish you a great day. And I will see you next week and on a daily basis. And Christian's joining me here to say goodbye to you all. God bless.